and it's now just 3.5 days until I'm supposed to be going to the Ford show with Esther, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort. But yeah, this passenger side one, let's fire up the MIG welder. I've nearly finished the driver's side. The gas ran out, tip on the welder got messed up, set fire to the car. Today has been such a nightmare. It's an absolute state. I've got decent penetration, you can see. With the rain pouring down, I refitted her engine. Finally painted the rear of Maud's cockpit. The weather is terrible. I think I'm throwing in the towel. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and it's now just 3.5 days until I'm supposed to be going to the Ford show at Santa Pod with Esther, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort. So it's about time I welded up the holes in her gearbox tunnel, because until I've done that, I can't put her back together. My good friend Rob has very kindly lent me his MIG welder so that I can do the welding, and he's let me plug into his electricity, which is an absolute godsend because my little generator definitely won't run a MIG welder. I've also made some adjustments to these plates that I made. As you can see, I've cleaned them all up, ready for welding, but I've also made them a little bit smaller. And following the advice from loads of you guys, I'm actually going to be putting the plates on the inside, although I am still going to be putting the weld on the outside. Now, I am not a fabricator, as I've already explained, and these plates aren't perfect, but I think they'll work. It's still going to be a case of me, you know, tacking it in place and then whacking it to get it to fit better. But yeah, this passenger side one, as I was saying, this passenger one isn't too bad at all. And around the other side, there's the plate to fill the driver's side hole. And here's what the plates look like from under the car. As you can see, they're going to need a lot of bashing about to actually make them meet everywhere. But this plate, as you can see, it does meet in a couple of places. So I should be able to get a couple of tacks in those areas and then worry about panel beating the rest. And on this side, you can see that, you know, it looks good there. It meets up there. And again, once it's tacked in, I'll bash it about to make it meet and then fully weld it up. Now, apologies in advance to any fabricators out there, because this is probably going to make your eyes sore, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll at least be able to fill these holes, get the gearbox tunnel nice and strong again, and then I'll be left with plenty of room to remove and refit the gearbox in future. Let's fire up the MIG welder. After a very brief practice on some scrap metal, I began waving Rob's MIG welder and my hammer at Esther's gearbox tunnel. When I'd nearly finished the driver's side, the gas ran out, so I went to Halfords and got a disposable gas bottle to carry on with the job. Shortly after that, the tip on the welder got messed up, which has an uncommon thread, and I had to crack on with a gasless welder, which set fire to the car. I persevered with the job as best as I could, but really struggled. Today has been such a nightmare. As well as my own lack of talent, I've had to deal with the gas running out. Then we ran and got one of these small disposable ones. Then I had issues with the tips on the welder. Luckily, my good friend Rob had a gasless welder for me to carry on. But yeah, I've found that even more difficult to use. You know, I'm really not a welder, and yeah, part of me regrets even trying to take this job on. So this is where I'm at. This is the one I did with the MIG welder. A lot of the welds up here was when it had run out of gas, and you know, I've got a hole here, I've got a hole here, loads of pinholes all the way around it. I really struggle trying to fill these holes. It's just blowing more holes. When I did this one, I didn't have anyone inside to press the two bits of metal together, so there's obviously a gap which inevitably causes holes. But the passenger side is even worse. This is the one I did with a gasless welder. The thing is, when I look at it, I think I may as well cut that off and start again. But then when I hit it with a hammer, it's solid. It's literally solid. It's not moving. You know, I'm trying to fill in the holes. On this one, it's even worse. Loads of gaps around here. and a big hole here. But yeah, I'll keep trying to fill them and it's just blowing bigger holes. I'll just show you what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, it's an absolute state. Massive holes here, massive hole here. I've already potentially damaged the wiring loom for my ECU. Luckily Rob was here to sort of get that fire out, because I did have Rob to press this one against the tunnel and stuff and round here, so you know, I managed to get the panels closer together, but it's an absolute eyesore. I have got decent penetration, you can see, so I'm guessing it's relatively strong, stronger than there being a hole there at least. But yeah, I'm done. I am done. But realistically, that's probably gonna have to get redone at some point in the future. Anyway, I'm gonna hit those plates with a grinder now and just see if we can tidy things up a little bit. With the welds ground down, it looked ever so slightly better. And once I'd hit the plates with a wire brush, I gave them a clean and a coat of epoxy primer, which I sprayed into a lid and then brushed on. Next, the welds got covered in sealer, and the next morning the sealer got covered in primer and the battery tray area got cleaned and primed. Whilst the primer was drying, I painted some of Maud's interior black, then I removed her front grille. The O-rings I bought for her headlights were too big, but I knew I could still make them work. So I removed the bits of wire that I'd put in there, then cut the O-ring and tried to feed it in. But I decided it was easier to remove the headlights to fit the O-rings. With Maud's front end back together, it was time to turn my attention back to Esther and paint all the grey bits Olympic blue. And then, with the rain pouring down, I refitted her engine. Alright, so I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel with this job. The weather has been hindering me quite a lot today, but you can't control the weather. You've just got to work around it, and that's exactly what I've been doing. As you would have just seen, Esther's engine is now back in the engine bay, and just look how much space there is now for the bell housing. And there's the other side. But also, just look how much the engine actually takes your eye away from the tunnel, which is good because yeah, all that sealer and hand brushed paint doesn't look the best, but function over form. Inside the cockpit, it's obviously all looking blue again. You know, if you look really closely, it looks really ropey, but from a distance, it doesn't look that bad at all. And by the time I've got the switch panel in and the heater box and whatnot, it's fine. Gone are the days where I worry about every little bit of the car looking mint. You know, it's not about that. It's about driving them. You know, when I first started building this car, I wanted to put mirrors underneath it at shows and all that, and before I'd even finished building it, I'd lost interest in that sort of thing. But you know, she means too much to me to sell, so I just gotta crack on and enjoy owning her. Just try and give you a look underneath at how much space we've got now. It's going to make life so much easier in the future, changing clutches and stuff. But I bet sod's law, now that I've done this, I probably won't have to take the gearbox off for years, which would be great. I'm not going to moan. Now, as you would have already seen, I finally painted the rear of Maud's cockpit, and even though it was brushed on, you know, because it's matte paint, once it mattes off, you don't see the brush strokes unless you look really closely. But yeah, especially with this car, it doesn't matter. Looks way better than having all the green. Still need to do the B pillars, but I do intend to rip the headlining out of Maud and paint the roof and that sort of thing. So eventually the whole of the interior will be back. Now I think I'm going to continue working in Esther's engine bay now. Obviously still loads of stuff to do in here. Hello, into another new day, and the weather is terrible. Please excuse the noise of my squeaky windscreen wipers. Now, the show, the Ford show at Santa Pod, is the day after tomorrow, and I'm hoping to go to my parents tomorrow to stay over there because they live in Northampton, and yeah, it'll be easier to get to Santa Pod for the show nice and early. But yeah, time is really running out. As I say, the weather is grim, and I have been waiting indoors just seeing if the weather would improve, which it clearly isn't going to. Not only that, I can't stay around the garage all evening today because I've got a boxing class this evening. So, you know, I need to get the gearbox back in today. and I need everything onwards now to go right. I can't have any hiccups if I'm going to get the car ready in time. But yeah, we'll get to the garage. I'll show you what I managed to get done yesterday after I stopped filming, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I think I'm ready now to refit Esther's gearbox. The gearbox is actually already under the car, sitting on top of the jack. I've put a brand new clutch release bearing in, and I've greased everything up. So yeah, just a case of lifting the box up and bolting it onto the engine. As you can see, yesterday after I stopped filming, I basically got most of the stuff back in the engine bay. Got the radiator fitted and plumbed, got all the electrics plugged in. As you can see, the battery is covering all the carnage in the inner wing from where I removed her original battery tray. I know loads of you guys were saying that I should weld those holes up, but I'm clearly not very good at welding up holes. But yeah, the battery hides it all nicely, and this engine bay is going to need some paint at some point in the near future because we've got a little bit of rust forming here, and I think when I get that sorted, I'm going to remove her heater bubble and deal with the inevitable surface rust under there, and then fit a carbon fibre one. So when that paintwork gets done, I can easily get that sorted out as well. Now the rain is very light at the moment, which I'm really grateful about. So let's see if we can lift this gearbox into place. So the gearbox is now fully in. I ended up getting the hoist back out and hoisting the weight of the engine, and then undoing the bolts that hold the cross member into the chassis. Basically, I think why I was struggling is that the engine was sort of like this, slightly. So the back of the gearbox was basically touching the driver's side of the tunnel, like the very back of the gearbox. And yeah, the gearbox just needed to go that little bit that way for it to go on fully. I did end up, you know, using the bolts to pull the gearbox onto the engine, but it is only, you know, the last millimetre or so. You know, the input shaft was well, you know, engaged with the clutch before I was doing that. Although in an ideal world, you know, you should be able to lift the gearbox onto the engine and get it, you know, literally no gap before you put the bolts in. But you know, I've done the bolts up gradually and there wasn't like loads of resistance, so hopefully I haven't bent the adapter plate or anything like that. So yeah, gearbox is in, got the prop shaft hooked back up to the diff. My beautiful girlfriend is here, but I think I'm throwing in the towel in terms of getting Esther ready for the Ford show. Let me explain why. So I set about trying to fit the slave cylinder because I wanted to fit it and then see if I had any free play on the clutch arm, expecting not to have free play on the clutch arm. There was definitely free play when the slave wasn't fitted though, but I've had a nightmare trying to fit this slave cylinder. I spent over an hour trying to fit it. At one point the slave cylinder came apart, so the cylinder came out and it started leaking brake fluid, which inevitably means that there's air in the system. So you know, while Kat was on her way here, I thought I'll get it fitted and then we can bleed it and just see if there is free play. So I just wanted to double check that there isn't free play before I then set about modifying the bar on it. But yeah, I struggled and struggled to not even get it fitted properly, to be honest. I've put a load of washers on the bolts, and I now remember that one of these threads is actually cross-threaded, and I should have tapped that one to a bigger size while the box was off. But yeah, basically because that has taken so long and there's just so much to do, I'd have to come around here and spend all day here tomorrow, and you know, there's other things I need to do to get ready for the show because we're having our own club stand and stuff. So yeah, I'm throwing the towel in and we'll take this old banger instead. Obviously Roger the Plastic Fiesta's coming as well because he'll be on van duties to carry the gazebo and stuff. So there it is. Esther did not make it to the Ford show at Santa Pod. This whole video has been an absolute nightmare, from the shocking welding and then just everything in general taking longer than I was expecting. And yeah, I'm gutted that Esther didn't make it to the Ford show. I'm actually filming this outro after the Ford show and the show was still awesome. And yeah, you'll be able to see what happened at the Ford show in the next video. Realistically, if I knew that Esther wasn't going to make it to the show when I was struggling with the welding, I probably would have cut it out and started again. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's fine. It's not a chassis or anything. It's not really a structural area. You know, it was still strong enough when I'm whacking it with a hammer. Wasn't, you know, moving at all. So I think it'll be fine. Now the car's not going anywhere, so maybe at some point in the future it will get redone. But yeah, you know, it's not my first rodeo. I have done welding before. I've done loads of welding on Maud before I put her on the road. But I've always, you know, made the plates overlap by sort of this much and then drilled holes in it and MIG plugged it. And then sometimes gone ahead and sort of stitched or seam welded as well. You know, the tunnel that's in Esther, I know loads of you guys keep saying, why don't I fit a large tunnel? She has got a large tunnel in, and I fitted that large tunnel, and I actually done it after the car was completely painted, and I was able to, you know, keep the paintwork local. You know, I overlapped it and MIG plugged it in, and then, you know, the paintwork around the edge of it I just done with a roller, and then I spent ages sanding and polishing it so you could hardly see it, especially when the engine is in and stuff. So yeah, I have done welding before, but yeah, not for a while. And I haven't done a lot of welding, but yeah, the welding, as you would have seen in this video, was yeah, atrocious. But it is what it is. The next big event that I must get Esther ready for is the Summit Show and Run in Northern Ireland. Massive shout out to everyone who's going to that event. I can't wait to get over there and see all you guys. But yeah, I think in the short term, I think I'm going to get myself round to the garage for a couple of days off camera. I need to do a load of tidying up. I also want to crack on with, you know, addressing some of the issues with Esther. And yeah, eventually I'll make a video to show you what I've done. And yeah, then we'll crack on from there. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. If you did think it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my future uploads. Feel free to check out my website for merch and parts. Follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Massive, massive thanks to all my patrons for your ongoing support. I'll leave all the links to all of that in the description as usual, along with my email address for anyone who wants to contact me. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.